Welcome to the Rich Report, a podcast with news and information on high performance computing. My name is Rich Brueckner, in fact, and I'm from insideHPC. My guest today is Mike Bernhardt. Mike is a 23-year veteran of the HPC industry. You may know him from the Exascale Report, where he's the chief editor. Mike works as my business strategist in his spare time. And today, Mike, I'd like to welcome you to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Rich. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Well, great. Mike, you helped me out with a reader survey. We were curious about how things had gone here at Inside HPC since I took over back in September. We thought a good way to do that would be to poll our readers. So, can you give us some background on the kinds of questions you were asking and what the objectives were?
Sure, Rich. Be happy to. Yeah, you must be doing something right since taking over because I was actually surprised at the responses and the growth rate of Inside HPC. Basically, went out and asked readers to tell us a little bit more about themselves, the how often they read publications, how often they forward, emails and stories and articles to colleagues, as well as getting some more concrete information about where they sit in the HPC acquisition cycle and some information about the types of systems that they work on a regular basis. All good information, all valuable, and have that data together and be happy to share it with the readers today.
Okay. Did we get a good set of responses from out there in the HPC community?
Yeah, absolutely did. I was kind of overwhelmed actually with the responses that we got. I've been involved in a number of user surveys in the HPC community over the years, and I've never seen this kind of a response. So very interesting. The first thing that's impressive and I think important for readers and potential advertisers to understand about Inside HPC is the tremendous growth rate that's been accomplished just in the past 2 years, which is the window that I looked at. Unique visitors to your site in January exceeded 62,000. That's a 100% growth rate if you look at the window of the past 24 months. It's just been steadily climbing. It's a very impressive number, no matter how you look at it. And then the page views that were served in January, and these are legitimate page views, more accurately would be described as article retrievals, uh, represented, so it was 914,000 plus for the month of January. It represents a 185% growth over the past 24 months.
Wow. Wow.
It's big. So more importantly is, who are these people? And so who reads Inside HPC? And some of the data points that I pulled out of this survey were pretty interesting. So 30% of your readers are end users that are involved in HPC systems or administration. Key people at a lot of HPC sites that range from, let's say, 4 node clusters all the way up to some of the largest systems in the world. 20%, 27% of the readers are involved in developing and running applications at a particular level. This was more of a detailed level as we went back and asked more questions. You have a good size audience. 23% are actual scientists or scientific researchers. A small percent are government employees, and I thought it would actually be a lot higher, but only 6% of the readers, at least the readers that responded to the survey, are government employees who use HPC systems.
Hmm.
8% of the total makeup that we surveyed are executives that are at the director, the vice president, or CXO level. But the last data point I think is one that's really interesting. 20% of the readers of Inside HPC work for a vendor or manufacturer, and it was actually listed as HPC hardware, software, or services. But with 20% of the readers being vendors, providers of HPC hardware, software, and services, the staggering fact that that escapes us once in a while is that 80% of your readers are end users involved in developing or running applications of some type in the global HPC ecosystem.
Hmm. Hmm.
These are the people that really are the heartbeat of the community. And as I've worked with numerous publications over the years and looking at how to build online advertising strategies, these are the people that the manufacturers, the providers, the suppliers really want to reach. So it was important as we looked at this to try to understand geography of your readers as well. It's not broken down to a very fine point, but Americas represents 58% of the publication, EMEA 28%, Asia Pacific, Japan 14%. You did have strong growth from the last time a survey was done for Inside HPC in some particular countries. As I recall, Germany, um, Russia, France, and the UK were among some of the countries that demonstrated a significant increase in readership.
Hmm. Okay.
So I think more importantly, Rich, is the who are the readers in terms of where do they fit in an HPC acquisition cycle? What's their role? This next chart that describes the role of the readers is pretty interesting. If you look at this, you only have 11% of your readers who have said, they're interested in HPC topics, they're interested in following what's going on in the community, but their current job description does not have them participating in an HPC acquisition cycle,
Mm-hmm.
which means, of course, 89% of your readers in some way, actively, directly, or indirectly, are part of an HPC acquisition cycle. You have 22% of your readers actually are involved in making formal recommendations that go on up to management or go on up to, let's say, selection acquisition committees. 14% of your readers are members of some type of an acquisition committee. So 89% of your readers are involved in the evaluation, the recommendation, the selection, and the actual approval of HPC acquisitions, with 6% of those being listing themselves as final decision makers, and 4% of those actually are the budget owners. Another thing that I think is impressive in taking a look at the demographics of your readers, the HPC community globally is at the dawn of something we're calling the multi-core dilemma. More and more systems shipping with more and more core, an increasing core count. And it's presenting a particular challenge. As we start to push forward toward exascale, we're putting emphasis on sustained petaflops, and the stepping stones that are going to move us down that path require us to get much, much better at effective core utilization. So understanding the breakdown of the types of systems that the Inside HPC readers work on, I felt was very important. And as this next chart demonstrates, is a very interesting span of systems. Now, what we did is we asked them to respond to the types of systems they work on directly or indirectly at their location or at other locations, but only for systems with a core count of less than 500. So let's rule out the huge monster machines that kind of skew these numbers.
Okay.
You've got, if you take a look at the biggest slices of that pie, 16 to 24 cores, 48 to 64, 64 to 128, 128 to 500. There's a really good representation of different types of challenges, different types of application development problems, different types of optimization problems and challenges that are out there. So basically, anybody that serves the global HPC community with cluster management tools, with software development application tools, the various types of toolkits for multi-core optimization and managing the system resources of a multi-core system more effectively, they need to be talking through Inside HPC to your readers, because this is kind of a sweet spot for your publication. So Rich, I think another very important data point to take a look at is kind of the site profile. Is it an active site? Is it a passive site? How often do people actually come and read Inside HPC? Very interesting. And one word comes to mind, which is impressive. 44% of your readers have indicated they come to the Inside HPC site daily, once a day, with 39% of the readers saying they go to the site several times a week. So it is, in fact, an extremely active site, which has a strong following and a lot of loyalty. But one interesting data point that doesn't often come out, the next slide, which talks about how many article links readers pass along to their colleagues each month. So you see an interesting article, you think, gosh, some of the guys on the team need to see this, and you queue up an email and you put their addresses in there and you send that article link out. 71% of your readers say that they pass along article links or cut and paste an article and send it to 5 to 10 colleagues per month. Now, Some of this is reflected in the page views, and some of it is not. So if I cut and paste an article and send it to 5 of my friends, I'm the only one who read it, and I'm the only click or the only page view that you actually saw at your site. So I'm estimating that the pass along rate of Inside HPC at a minimum is about a factor of 4 to 5x, which significantly increases the page view type of an impression count that you use for your readers. Again, very active site with a very strong pass along rate. So Rich, let me ask you, do you have any clue as to why you've experienced such a significant growth? And in particular, this number that 44% of your readers are coming to the site on a daily basis, what do you attribute that to?
Well, Mike, since I took over in September, I've made a concerted effort to make sure that there's fresh content on the site every day. And I based that on some previous experience I had blogging at Sun. I built up a readership there on my HPC water cooler blog. And I did that over the course of 4 or 5 years by making sure there was new posts every day. And that turned into thousands of readers per day in the end. So that worked for me there. I think it's working here.
I think you're right. It is working. The other thing that I've noticed in terms of comments that came back from your readers, the active participation of Inside HPC at various conferences and events has been noted and has been seen as an extremely positive direction for the publication. Based on that, we asked an additional question, and we asked the readers what conferences they planned on attending during 2011. We got a wide range from user group meetings and so forth, but the ones that stood out are listed on this chart. And I know from talking to you over the last few months that you are trying your best to have an active participation at pretty much every key event that's important to some segment of the user community. And do you think that that's a strategy that's working well for Inside HPC?
Absolutely, Mike. Yes. You go to a show like SC10, and there's 340 exhibits, hundreds of products and press releases coming out. There's workshops, tutorials, there's ancillary meetings, all kinds of things, right? It's way too much for one person to take in. So what we try to do is do these supplement editions of Inside HPC that cover the event ahead of time, kind of point out the special events, the things not to miss. And after the fact, we run those because we can do podcasts and videos from the show floor that people can, as you say, forward to their colleagues and show them what's going on, get the latest on high performance computing. Okay, Mike. So we went through the exercise of surveying our readers. What have we learned?
That's a great question, Rich, and a great way to wrap up this interview. So what we've learned is that as a growing publication, you have a very strong, very loyal audience of global HPC community readers. For organizations that are hoping to raise awareness for the work they're doing, case studies, benchmarks, progress reports on particular applications, Inside HPC is a very important vehicle for getting the word out through your editorial outlet into this global community. For manufacturers of hardware, software, and providers of services to the global HPC community, Inside HPC is an absolutely vital portal, if you will, for raising awareness, both brand awareness, product awareness, and solution awareness to the decision makers throughout the global HPC community. And in my opinion, you've done a phenomenal job in growing the publication in all the right areas since taking over. So for one, I'd like to offer my congratulations to you.
Well, wow, thanks, Mike. It's been a great opportunity for this taking over this publication from John West, who built it up from scratch. And I'd like to, offer this opportunity out to the listeners out there. We're always looking for contributions. Submit your stories, sure, but a lot of the news is not part of a press release. And if you've got articles to contribute, or you experience things at conferences or presentations, whatever, please share them with us. We're happy to be a community channel for you. And we hope that this talk today was useful for you in your endeavors to succeed in high-performance computing. So that's it for the Rich Report, folks. Stay tuned for more news and information on high-performance computing.